What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Frogs and Friends. Once again, for the brand new week, we have here a couple frogs, couple friends here with us. We have Adam, we have Ryan, and we have Krash. What is going on, my guys?
Happy
Oh,
Thursday.
yeah, it's a happy Thursday. It's green, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, you could say it's been a pretty pleasant week, all things considered, right?
All week, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop to be like, Trump, attacking some other nation, doing some other operation or some other FUD or just something. It's been too clean of a week since we gone through this past year.
Exactly. Yeah.
First things first, here, guys. You guys want to just jump into uh, Trump blocking the Strait of Hormuz, blocking the blockade, having other countries come to buy our oil now, the USA's oil and such. Does anyone want to touch on this subject here this past week?
Yeah, so like I saw this funny meme. It was it's like Confucius say, or I think it was a Sun Tzu Art of War. Like I will you do a blockade and I will blockade your blockade, right? So it's like um I think to like everyone else who doesn't really understand kind of how global trade works, doesn't have that bird's eye view of how everything comes into the country, gets processed and distributed to people.
Mm-hmm.
This probably sounds really stupid, right? They're like, "Oh, why would you?" The whole point is to open up the strait, so why are you blockading it, right? But the more you pull on that thread, it seems like he's letting some ships go through and not others, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm finding, and there's a great video on this, guy talking about basically controlling all shipping lanes that are coming to the west from China, or anything between any shipping lanes that go to China. Trump now has control of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but what he was blocking or is blocking is shipments to Iran, and it seems like shipments to other nefarious actors, like anyone else who was basically sidelining or trying to sidestep all the sanctions that were there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like that's what he's actually blockading and figuring out who they are, how they're funding it, and where they're actually supposed to be going to. So this just seems like an absolutely brilliant play to really understand who's our enemy, who's our friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know. To me, I keep reading everyone just hyperventilating about this and basically saying, well, oil just keeps going up. Nothing's getting better. We're all getting squeezed, but all the right people are being squeezed right now, right?
Yes. Yeah. At least for that's what we see anyway. Yeah, sure, we're paying the normal guys paying an extra dollar for gas, but at the end of the day, if that's gonna cause all of everything to be better here in the near future, I mean, I'm willing to pay an extra dollar. Fuck it. Like for us to be in a better
Dude,
position, you know.
yeah, well, it's better. I mean, instead of actually having to physically fight, okay, well, I got to make a sacrifice and pay a dollar extra a gallon. I don't because I drive a Tesla, but like the point is like our sacrifices compared to what they would have been,
Mm.
like in a World War III situation,
Yes. Yeah.
are
Short,
minuscule in comparison.
short-term pain and long-term gain. That's what I keep trying to tell myself every time
Right.
I fill up. So, and I tell that to other people that, wigging out and freaking out about it that don't have their, pulse on the signal or nothing. They're just, doing the panicking thing. But yeah, I don't know. Like, and you got to realize that, like when I was just over in New Zealand, I met some family that was over there, and they seemed pretty awake, and but they were all talking. There's quite a bit of consensus that they were thinking, um, like globalists or whatever deep state guys they're going to be pushing for another lockdown of some kind. But since the COVID last thing just fell flat on its face, as it will forever for the next 100 years, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think anybody's going to fall for that bullshit again. But the they're talking about the fuel shortage and lockdown like that. So they're going to basically and in Australia they're telling you to only drive when necessary and carpool if you can. I mean, but Australia gets most of their fuel from. Asia and stuff, and
Yeah.
to say that it comes from Iran, and that was maybe an excuse that these the cornered animals trying to use for more control and lockdowns and stuff. But I think every time they try to go in a position like that, I think Trump's already got it figured out. It feels like, he closes that door on them. Like that's what it feels like. That's why I just sleep. I just laugh and I sleep good at night. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like
The
it's just
art
like
of war.
Canada, man. We just lost we just got a majority. Liberals just we had 5 floor crossers through bribing and blackmail and obviously like Epstein-esque looking feeling things because one of the MPs that crossed the floor was has a kid that's a pedophile and he's probably going to get off now and things like this, right? And but you can't, they got a majority now, so what's going to happen?
Right.
Trump
Yeah.
ain't going to let no communist shit happen on the biggest open border, so I just sleep good at night.
No
That's right.
way.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Yeah. Cuba first, then Canada. That's what'll
Yeah.
happen.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's Mark Carney got his
Yeah.
majority, huh?
Yeah, he got it by floor crossers, and
Mm.
it's unbelievable. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So
but
what are we looking
well,
at here? We're looking at Cuba next. We're looking at Canada then Mexico, then Greenland.
yeah. Well, Canada might be last, to be honest, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a still we got to get a lot of people on board with that. But I mean, it probably has to get a lot more painful here for people to, you know, but
And I would say probably Greenland would be a little more strategic than
yeah,
Canada,
and
and
easier. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. All
yeah.
right,
100%.
that's fair. Now the last time we talked last week, did we have the ceasefire, or was that after we talked last Thursday? I can't remember if we even mentioned that or not. But apparently, I mean, Trump and Iran are supposed to be
Yeah,
talking
we did.
again. Did we? Okay.
We did.
So they're supposed to be talking again today, and then we also got news that Israel and Lebanon had a ceasefire, 10-day ceasefire today as well. And I think that kind of helped the market a little bit because it was on the downtrend, and now it's treading water about even, but or green in some spots. But any idea or any thought on the Israel and Lebanon ceasefire? Any thoughts on that?
Well, I think the joke was just wait until Israel blows up the ceasefire, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, and they technically were, right? So they did not stop bombing
Mm-hmm.
Lebanon. So, and Iran's like, well, that's a direct violation of the ceasefire, hence the straits closed. So I don't know. It's interesting because if you look at the events that played out since, right? So then Trump's response to that was to blockade the blockade,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then who knows what conversations he's had with Israel, but finally they're at the table. As of yesterday, I think they were at the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're supposed to come to the White House to kind of hash out some final agreement or something. But it seems like um, he's having to play Israel really hard too because they're acting like, oh, well, we could just go do whatever we want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And America will just back our play. Well, he's not backing their play. He's like, okay, I understand you're going to be super difficult and you could just blow this up by continuing to bomb Lebanon, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like we don't need that at this time. But there is the sidebar here of everyone else is getting squeezed that needs to be squeezed, right? So like Europe's getting squeezed. Like Ryan's talking about, let's just call it the West, the collective West, right? Like Australia, I'm sure Canada's feeling it. I'm sure Greenland's feeling it. All of Europe. Maybe it's to get everyone to come to the table. And I think maybe the first thing is like you got to get Israel in check, right? Because those guys are just like
Wild dogs. Yeah.
seething. Yeah, wild dogs. They're just seething to blow shit up. So, um, I don't know. It's a hard one. I think you're dealing with multiple enemies, multiple stakeholders here that um, probably want to see the other side, but then you have the other ones that don't want to see the other side. They want to see the liberal world order, the rules-based order to continue.
Mm-hmm.
And we just have to figure out who are those people that want to see that continue. Like, I don't think it's all of the Middle East. So I think a lot of the Middle East wants out of that liberal-based world order.
Yeah.
but not all of them, right? But clearly, Australia's ran by it, Canada's ran by it, Europe's ran by it, Israel may be the arbiter of it. So yeah, it seems like trying to get everything in checkmate, so you have to make a deal instead of just like, uh, fuck you, I'm taking my ball and going home. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think now if I get why people are upset with these operations and like this war that's going on and stuff like that because we've seen it so many times before and you are accustomed to seeing this turn into like a 10, 20-year war.
Right.
But that is I don't I mean obviously we look at things a little bit deeper than a lot of people. We kind of see that there was a plan the past 10 years or so of this shit that there's light at the end of the tunnel, or there is a something more lack of a better word, just a plan to this kind of stuff. It's not like Trump just going in just doing shit because Netanyahu's Bibi's telling him,
Right.
And I think it is totally the other way because Israel, if you think of it in Israel's context, they want this shit to keep going. They don't
Oh
want
yeah.
ceasefires. They don't want like these peace deals and like people coming to the
Right.
table and stuff. They just want chaos at the
Yeah,
end of
they
the day,
haven't met
really.
their objectives. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it keeps their thing going, what they've been doing since they've
Mhm.
been initiated as a country. So I think yes, I totally get why people are mad and afraid or whatever that we are doing this like war type stuff. But I think at the end of the day, both things can be true though too, to where like, yeah, we're doing this, like we're taking out Iran and stuff like that. Yes, that does in turn help Israel on the surface level. That's what it looks like, But at the end of the day, we get most of the gain, and Israel at the end of the day has nothing really left to cry wolf about, And I think that's what a lot of people don't see.
Yeah. You know what's interesting that's happened during this whole period of time is Spain doing a deal with China.
Mm.
Like to me, that's them blinking first, right? They're like they see the writing on the wall. They're like, "Fuck it, we're not working with the United States anymore. We're going with China."
Hmm.
Dude, that's so fucking huge.
Yeah.
That's Canada too. That's
I know
Canada in a
it,
nutshell.
but they're out in the open now saying like, "I'm choosing China over the United States."
Yep.
So that's fucking huge, right? And I'm seeing like social media posts like talking about like, oh, China's in the right here, because the other day, like I guess they had an interview where Spain's prime minister was with Xi Jinping, and Xi Jinping's like, oh, we need to stop this law of the jungle thing here, basically referring to the United States as, oh, these motherfuckers just think they can do whatever they want, right?
Hmm.
As if he's some fucking stoic moral authority. It's like, fuck this dude, right?
Hmm.
But then you got to think back. Okay, so they were partners with Iran, right? The United States goes in and blows the fuck out of Iran, right?
Yeah.
And where's China? Oh, we'll send a delegation and say, hey, if you need any help, we'll let you know. Just tell us, and maybe we can do a deal when
Well,
you're done or something.
they've
But you're
agreed
fucked.
not. They've agreed to not even send any weapons to Iran to help them. So there's obviously back channels. You know,
Right.
you can't take away Venezuelan oil and then take away Iranian oil from China without having some kind of backroom deal in place with Putin and China
Yeah.
and Xi or whatever the hell you call him.
Right.
There has to be something going on, and people thinking Trump's just winging this shit and he gets lucky and wins all the time. Like
Yeah.
they're retarded. They're more retarded than we are. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like there's a plan, and I'm not saying it's all the autist president there, but there's the militaries behind him, and there's a brain trust behind this. That's and he's the figurehead and the tip of the spear of it, and takes all the slings and arrows for everybody. But I mean, there's a plan there for sure, Crash. Just like you say, like there's something in behind that we're just not privy to. We've been given drips of it or signals and false
Hmm.
information at the same time, but that's fog of war, and I feel that there's major progress made in the last 10 years for sure, like against, and if not, everybody's at least awakening to it, and,
Hmm. Yeah.
nobody even knew Israel was, you know, how bad, the Jews and Israel stuff was
Right.
until like a year and a half ago, because now it's on everything. It's on every social media site like crazy, like all these videos coming up and people showing, whatever they want to show about, all that
Yeah.
all of it. I'm just not going to go there on this video, but you know what I mean. Everybody knows, like it's there, and it's the great noticing is in full swing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember specifically like when I was a mid teenager, like figuring out like 9/11, all that shit. Dude, it was lonely as hell. Like no one I could have a conversation with like no one about
Oh,
any
dude.
of that kind of stuff. And just the shit that I seen the past 8 years, just say, ever since Trump came in, I would draw that line kind of. Shit, like you could talk about anything now and it's out in the open. Like, there has been I would never have thought 15 plus years ago that we would be doing this kind of thing, or the
No
mainstream
way.
would be this far like open. You know, what is that, like the
Overton window.
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see that changing like months now, not years, months, and possibly even weeks and days in some
Well,
instances.
so here's the thing. So everybody's freaking out over the Epstein files not getting released. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for years you had liberals that didn't even want to admit they didn't even know who he was or care who he was, or they denied that they even existed. Right when Biden was in power, now everybody wants to see him because Trump, you know, does that Streisand effect where he makes people want to see. You know, he's always ahead, right? But
Mm-hmm.
now everybody's mad that he's not releasing them. Well, you know what? If you are in control of the Epstein files, do you not control these fucking retards now? Why wouldn't you use that
100%.
tool?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you use that tool to your advantage for a while before you release all this data? I think the data will still come out. I mean, you had Melania on TV talking about how it has to come out. That's projection, and
Yep.
it will. But why wouldn't you use this tool to blackmail some of these people if they were, you know, hey, now you're going to swing, you're going to play for us now. We've got it all, you know, and unless you want to do something, you know, unless you want this to come out right now, I mean, you're going to just act this way for us. Now, maybe the white hats and Trump and those guys, maybe they're the puppet masters now. And this is, I don't know, that's just a theory. I mean, I could be way out there and retarded, but that's, I mean, why wouldn't you? If you had that tool and you had that tool or that weapon in your arsenal, you would deploy it and you would make maximum use of it before you just got rid of it. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
way I would think, anyway. So
Yeah, and even the 17th letter of the alphabet has made points of that as well. Have made references of, you know, the hunters are the hunted now, or, you know, shit, just
right,
shit
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I've never read the Q drops or anything, but I just get it from hanging out with you guys and groups like you guys. That's where I've kind of learned some of the stuff. But yeah, it's it's I mean, just logically thinking, that's what I would do if I had all that
Oh
dirt
yeah.
on people. I would use it before I exposed it. Yeah,
Right. It's
Well, we're seeing that
the
play
art of
out
the
right
deal.
now. It's
Yeah. Go.
art of the
Swalwell.
deal, art of war. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like Eric Swalwell right now. That dude's. I mean, it seems like they're actually playing some cards right now, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
expose this fucking guy
Yeah.
with video and everything, and then now that's probably going to take down Ruben Gallego,
Yeah.
who's my state senator. That dude's an absolute piece of shit. So like I can see, I was talking to my wife and I personally like because dude, what you guys were talking about, like it looks like Trump doesn't have a plan. He's just fucking erratic and he's just doing this stupid shit. Like she was literally like losing her fucking mind over this. She's like, "Oh fuck Trump, I'm done with Trump." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, just chill out. Like this looks fucking crazy right now. But I'm telling you, there is a method to this madness,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like you guys said, I could tell this week. It seems like people are starting to get it because they started to connect the dots with China. They're like, oh wait, oh fuck, he's choking out China like all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
right? So people are starting to connect the dots. But the Epstein stuff, dude, I think you're right, Ryan. I think they have it all. They're sitting there and they're using it when they need it. They don't have to use it right now. They only have to use it in certain moments to make strategic moves, right? So like the midterms, I don't think the fucking midterms are going to matter worth a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the next president's going to matter worth a shit because this entire chessboard has just been toppled over. We're playing a wholly different game. And whatever the quote unquote opposition is, whatever their game is, it doesn't work in this new board, the new chessboard that we're playing on.
Right.
But I do think people do want accountability because we can't move forward unless there are consequences for doing this shit again.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Ryan, I mean, it could be a massive thing, or it could be just dripping. Just taking one guy out, this
Yeah.
guy out. Who knows? They could play it however they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just painful for people who want everything to happen. Like we've been waiting for this for so long, but you know what? I think,
It's
like
a
you said, the
war.
Overton window has been moved so far. I mean, you got the left screaming for the Epstein files now. Like, when would you ever have thought that was going to happen? I mean, it's all Jews and Democrats in there and stuff, right? So, I just read something today where none of the victims are Jewish. But everybody
They're all
Yeah.
goys.
0% Jews as victims, but all the half of his Epstein's list was 85% of them were Jewish or a Jewish associated. So like the great noticing, man, and it takes a while for culture to come around and accept these things. Like I can talk to, like, take my mom for example. She's almost 80. She just cannot believe, she's so black and white, but she cannot believe that there's Israel can be bad because the Islamic regime is evil. So there's good and bad. It's like no, it's not black and white.
Yeah.
It's gray. They're both pieces of shit over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't just go over and kill kids in a country and be a good guy. Like, it doesn't work that way. So, and it's, but she's having a hard time wrapping her head around this stuff because she grew up in that generation where the Holocaust, and you can't
Mm-hmm.
even question it. You can't do anything, right? You can't, but I don't know. So
Think
it's
it.
tough. That's the toughest one. I've got her. I've got her believing in Bitcoin. I've got her buying it. I've got her doing
Wow.
all sorts of other things, but I cannot get her
Yeah.
to wrap her head around that maybe it's shades of gray and not good versus evil over there.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah. That's
you
that's
know,
uh that's super
they
hard.
could both be pieces of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fighting each other. They don't have to be. One isn't going to be
That
gold and like So yeah, I don't know.
That,
It's
that's
just a
that's a
struggle.
super hard thing to break because I know people like that, family like that as well. Like I constantly say, the state of Israel is not the Israel of the Bible, and then that's what a lot of people like to
Exactly.
throw at is, oh, Israel, Bible, Bible. But meanwhile, I mean, if they've read it, they would kind of be able to at least understand that point. So like, and I know from examples in my experience that people that do say that haven't really read the Bible. Like they think they did, or they think they were told or understand it. So it's, yeah, and I'm with you. Like Zionism, Jewish, like that all is a problem, and there's other shit that's a problem as well. But every time you turn around, it seems like you see that, more times than not, and it's crazy.
So and they control all the media and all the half the social media and all
Yeah.
the porn sites and everything. They own everything, right? But why are we allowed to see this stuff on Facebook and Instagram now? All this, anti-Israel and anti-Jew stuff on there. Well, somebody's got the Epstein files on somebody in there, is what I'm thinking. They
Good
have, they
point.
have some kind of limited control to allow this Overton window to open, and that's why I keep going back to use it if you got it. And I think that's what's going on. That's what just my personal belief from the 40,000 foot view, because we got to keep reminding ourselves to go up higher and look down. You can't just look in the moment, and that's what we got to do. So,
I
Right.
can't disagree with that,
but
man.
I
I
mean,
think you're on.
you go on Instagram and you watch one video, and all of a sudden your algorithm's changing. It's all you'll get. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, like Jake TV and all that guy, like that, it's unbelievable. And what so it's just, yeah, there's something going on there for sure. So,
Yeah.
and it's a battle for the minds of everybody, right? So,
It's weird because like I agree with that, but on the other hand, like the Ashkenazi Jews, people that took over Israel, those Jewish people that they call Jewish,
mhm.
they, to bring in their Messiah, Israel has to be kind of wiped from the state of Israel has to be wiped from the map. So that is how
Right.
they bring their Messiah in, which is the
Yeah.
Antichrist to Christians and everyone else. So it's like both can be true here at the same time. It's like, yeah, they at the end of the day, they kind of want us to hate them, so that brings in their Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So like
Well,
it's
I,
where we
I
go
think
here.
they've already. I think this might be a repeating pattern then, because you know, it, I think that the Jews that were sacrificed during the Holocaust, World War II, I think that was just. I think a lot of that and a lot of the propaganda after that, if it's propaganda, like I'm not. I don't want to go there and offend anybody with that because I don't really study it. But just like stepping back, you got anti-Semitism laws and rights out of that. You know what I mean? So why not sacrifice a bunch of people so we can protect ourselves for the next 100 years or however long they were hoping it would work?
Right.
You know, and like I said, I just these are just random thoughts that come in my head. They're just
Yeah.
my own, but it's like maybe that's how evil these people are, these Zionists or these Ashkenazi that are ancient, right? And
Hmm.
why wouldn't they just sacrifice regular old Jews? I mean, I'm not saying every Jew's a bad person. I'm just saying this is why wouldn't they sacrifice this to get this? Now you can't question us. Now you can't do that. We can just operate freely without being questioned and kicked out of countries anymore. And you know what I mean? And anti-Semitism laws. We don't
Hmm.
have anti-Christian laws.
Yeah.
Our country, our whole society in the West is founded on Christian values, and we don't have laws that protect that. If
Right.
anything, that's the most attacked religion on the planet, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Because you have
100%.
Islamophobia, you have, you can't quit, that's why we have this mass migration stuff. You can't question Islamophobia because it's almost like a protected religion,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
everybody under their breath is muttering about it and bitching about it, but and don't want it, but you can't say anything because you're a racist and an Islamophobe. So this is the war in the culture, and I think we're slowly seeing the shift. I hope it happen because it takes a while. It takes 3 to 4 years usually for the people to come around to the new way of thinking. Like we're finally destroying the woke culture. I think it's dying, and it takes a few years for it to fully die for people to get brave enough to start talking. Like, yeah, this is bullshit. I don't want to be polite about this anymore. So
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just thinking
The
out
shit
loud.
goes through in generations, like,
Yeah.
and I think to the point of the Israel comment you brought up is like why now? I guess kind of. The technology I think is kind of really pushing that forward because they can't control shit as easily as they could pre 2000. Just say,
Right.
like, it was
Yeah.
easy to give us the story of the Holocaust and stuff.
Mhm.
No one in
No pushback.
numbers, could really change that or counter that, which a lot of
Exactly.
people did. Like General Patton did, like a lot of people did, but obviously they didn't get to play. They didn't get the promotion or public, like they didn't have the media, back in the day. And now with internet and technology, it's a lot easier, and they can't hold it. They can't hold the power. That's something. I guess we could argue that, like how much is the internet really the actual saving grace here? Because we like even G Money likes to say the internet was created for Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, I mean, both can be true. Both are very important to uh, human civilization. So I don't know. Do you guys just real
Yeah.
quick? Does anyone have a thought? Like,
Well,
internet or
so
is it
well,
Bitcoin?
um, I I would touch on that in a second, but
Okay.
so the Jews and Muslims thing is interesting because just this week or last week, didn't Trump post a picture of him looking like Jesus? Number
Yeah,
one.
and then once again,
Hold
you
on.
got the liberals going to God
Yeah.
now.
Can you find that picture and post it real quick? Because I noticed something very strange about that picture. But then additionally, he attacked the Pope too.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think those two things are super important. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So pull that picture up.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at so Ryan was saying something about like right now this is a war on for the mind, right? Look at that picture. What's he touching? He touches the dude's mind.
Yeah. There you
True.
go. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
And
That's
what
a
does he
good
have in his
point.
other hand? You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like, yo, we're making
Enlightenment.
you believe and be proud of America again. It's really what I'm reading out of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like deprogramming you. I'm healing you. You everything you believe is a fucking lie.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
What's your thoughts on the up here in the background, like the
Yeah,
thing
that
with
shit
wings?
fucking dude, I don't know. Like a lot of people are pointing out that that's a demon or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, but what are they? It's three entities above him, right? Oh, there it goes.
Yes.
Yeah, so it looks like a soldier to the left.
A
I don't know
nurse
what
on the
that is.
right.
No. Up top, like the
Oh.
angels. The angels.
Okay.
So the one looks like a demon in the front, right? And then the one to the right of it looks like a soldier, and the one to the left is holding hands. I don't know what that is. I
Yeah.
can't tell from how small it is, but yeah, I mean, this picture is actually deep as shit, and I think it's tying into what you were talking about, Ryan. It's that both of you guys, the Overton window, right? Like, I need to clear your head of everything you know and tell you the truth, and that can't be done instantaneously, but it's being done pretty goddamn quickly.
Well, yeah. Considering the past 500, 1,000 years, humans been, or longer than that, have been under control, and now in 8 years we're trying to break that.
Right.
That's super fast.
Yeah.
But then he goes after the Pope, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so. The dude's a fucking woke. That dude's not. I don't know your thoughts on Catholicism, but
It hasn't been the same for a while. It
Right.
hasn't been.
it's like it's co-opted, right? Like,
Yes, yeah.
it's a political position. It's not the arbiter. It's not whatever it was meant to be.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, right? Because I don't know how many Catholics there are, like 1.2 billion or 1.8 billion, whatever they are.
Mm-hmm.
But most countries are predominantly Catholic unless they're Muslim, right? And most of the West are predominantly, most of South America are Catholic, etc. So that's a big fight, right? That's a big shot across the bow. And why? What is coming? Like, usually Trump does some kind of shot like that. It's a foreshadowing of something else that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So to both your points, Islam's on trial, Judaism is on trial, or Israel is on trial, and Christianity, as we know it, is on trial.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because even in the Book of Revelation, they say the Antichrist comes out of, the Pope or Catholicism and stuff like that. That's a big thing. It's just out of the Vatican, basically. Yeah, this is very interesting.
Might have to smoke a big blunt or something and look at that picture for a long time.
Oh, for real, dude. That is a deep ass picture.
It can,
But-
yeah, yeah.
But Krash, to your point, what is it? What do they call it? Lukewarm churches, or the Laodicea?
Yes, yeah, yep.
Laodicea, right? And that's clearly where we're at. I mean, the churches have stood down on everything, and they're
Oh, yeah.
basically trying to almost like woke indoctrinate everyone at the same time.
Mhm.
It's insane. And so the religion, organized religion, it's a joke.
Yeah, King Baldwin ain't walking through that door, when you go to church anymore.
Oh,
So-
that's right.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, the Knights Templar. I mean, we could go in a whole rabbit hole about Knights
Yeah.
Templar and all that shit too, and the Crusades. But yeah, that's not happening anymore. And I think that's where some possible weakness comes into play then too. So Scott Bessent coming out the other day as well, and we also had the White House come out and say that they are declaring like a tariff refund system. So basically, citizens will be getting some kind of dividend from the tariff revenue. And that's kind of what Trump was saying when he was running for his second term. And now we're finally starting to possibly see something come from that. Because this is supposed to be active April 20th of this year. So what?
420.
Yeah, within a week. Within a week of this. And that also goes to the point here, as Scott Bessent was saying last night or the day before, that he wants people to change or lower their withholding for the taxes that get taken out of their checks.
Yeah.
Adam, you want to hit on that?
Dude, we'll talk about a huge red pill. The Secretary of Treasury is telling you to file exempt. Holy fucking shit, dude. Like, all these tax fights we've had with people like, oh, hey, I don't want to pay my taxes, but I can't do it because my employer just takes it out of my check. And you always tell them, just file exempt. And now, like, the Secretary of Treasury is telling you to file exempt. That's insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Trump followed that up today, saying that in the not too distant future, you're not going to be paying income taxes.
Yes, I did
because
see
tariffs are going to be paying for the operation of the government, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Now,
I don't. Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
one last thing. I don't know if that tariff dividend system is for the importer exporters or if it's for the citizens. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. Yeah, that. I mean, maybe it could be both. Quite honestly.
It might be both. Might be both.
Um, yeah, and do you think possibly with what we're getting all this new income here coming from blocking the strait, with selling our natural resources, gas and such, oil, that is making it way more possible now to do this, than just because we're not really manufacturing too much anymore, obviously, like compared to what 30, 50 years ago.
Right.
So this might be the X factor here to be able to do this dividend or the refund system, whatever, this tariff dividend. So that is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think we're going to be manufacturing a lot more very soon here, and it's all being built, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, really, a country's wealth is what does it export? It's not about what it imports, and whatever you import, you have to offset. You have to get or gain a profit operating as a country, just like you have to operate for a profit as a business. I mean, there is no difference. It's just way fucking bigger, right?
Mhm.
And then you also have a security arm attached to it all, right? So,
Right.
um, yeah, I mean, I don't. We've been operating on like exporting debt, so that was our greatest export, which is insane. So that game is obviously ending. Bitcoin's ending that game, and we're seeing the formation of the transition with STRC, SATA, Assist. We're already seeing that transition.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, I could see a tariff easily paying for the operations of the United States and also paying dividends to the citizens. 100%.
Mhm. Yeah. Could that possibly be some form of universal basic income?
Yeah.
Not just stretch. The actual tariff
Well,
system.
I don't know if you guys caught the last moonshot. Not the last one. It was like maybe 2 episodes ago. They were talking about the mandatory minimum, and I think they came up with a mandatory minimum would be $3,000 a month.
I did hear that. Yes,
Okay.
I heard that as well. That
Well,
episode. Hmm.
so $3,000 a month doesn't sound like a lot right now,
Yeah.
but they went into deflation and how because we're going to start manufacturing our own goods, and it seems like the drive for humanity is going to shift from geopolitical to space, which means it's infinite how you could grow into
Hmm.
space, right? So um, now the cost of goods start going down, and your 3,000 stays the same, but your 3,000 keeps becoming more and more and more and more to where your standard of living probably is at $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of people can switch their brain to think like that either, because we've always lived in this system where
Inflation.
if you have productivity gains that cause efficiency and cause things to go down, well, they have to inflate the money.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's I think this is I mean, to Ryan's point, like for people to wrap their heads around this when they've been used to just this is the way things go. I don't know if the boomers really make it out of this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if they actually really transition through this, but they're kind of sunsetting at this point anyway.
Hmm.
And I feel for them too, because they had a social contract with the government. They've gone through. They did what they were supposed to do. They didn't know any better, and like you said, Crash. I mean, they only had a limited window of information, right? It was
Yeah.
ABC, NBC, CBS
Hmm.
until the internet showed up, and then it rocked their world later because they didn't adopt the internet until probably like 2015 or so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel for that generation, right? I mean, it's not their fault. It's really not their fault. It's just that they happen to be the largest voting bloc, which is a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not for much longer. But and then you have what do you have? Gen X below that, right? And I'm part of Gen X,
Okay.
and we're an interesting generation because we see both sides, right? And Ryan, I know you could speak to this. I mean, we had the boomer upbringing as a child because we didn't have phones, we didn't have screen time. Like we were out doing a lot of things, and every stupid thing we did wasn't videotaped, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but then we got to see the transition of the technical side of it, social media, and how everything has changed on the technological side. That kids only saw that. You know, they didn't see the before. So we're like that transition generation where we've seen both sides, and it's I think it really is up to Gen X right now to help diffuse the confusion, like because I get why the boomers are confused. This is crazy for them. That like this is. Go ahead,
Are we
Ryan.
going to be the next greatest generation or what?
Dude, I like dude like Elon's Gen X too, right? So like that dude thinks so fucking big, like it's scary big, like how big
Mhm.
that dude thinks, and he has the drive to go do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That takes a special kind of person, but um, we grew up without supervision too, right? Like most of us, like we just went and did our own thing, right? Uh, I would come home for dinner because I could hear my dad's voice echoing off the mountainsides, yelling for us to come home for dinner, like,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's just a different way of thinking. So we understand the grit that's required to get to the other side, but then we also understand the softness that has been brought in by technology, where this group cannot handle grit and this group can. Like, you know what I mean? So I think we're like kind of the arbiter of the transition. And then
Yeah.
your generation, Crash, you're millennial, right?
Whatever 33 is. What
I
is that?
Well, I don't know.
Millennial?
Jeez, you might even be
I think I'm like
Z.
Gen
right
Z.
borderline some
Yeah,
on.
yeah, you might
No,
be Z.
you're millennial. Yeah, I think you're
Okay.
millennial. Yeah. I think so.
So
Yeah.
so you guys got to help. There's I don't know if you guys read the Fourth Turning.
Yeah.
Have you guys read? And your generation is the one, like yours and Z are the generation that are basically going to rebuild. That's
Yes.
the Renaissance side, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
just here to help fix shit and make sure the trains keep running, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent here. All I'm saying is I don't blame them. I don't blame the boomers, even though they seem so goddamn selfish and they're just like just work harder, just fucking
That
four
that's
jobs,
that's the
whatever.
thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Their attitude
But that's how they
towards
were
the change.
raised, dude.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they don't know
Yeah.
any different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it doesn't always work in this day and age anymore. That's the problem. Like I said, I used to work 2, 3 full-time shit so my wife could raise our kids, and
Yep.
you just keep going backwards. The more you make, especially in Canada, this goes back to like your Scott Bessent giving you guys the green light to not pay taxes. I mean, whatever happens down there happens in Canada a few years later. So I'm very excited to see that. And I know Trump's always been projecting no income taxes, and I've been telling people that forever.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, like Trump and America has more to offer Canadians than Canadian politicians have to offer Canadians. And that's why I think when you guys get no income tax, that will be the point where Trump makes the move on Canadians, and Canadians will go, yeah, I'm tired of paying 70% of my money to the government in forms of taxes. Because we basically, if you're in the highest tax bracket, you're at 52% plus all your GSTs, PSTs, and
My God.
fuel tax. You work till about September for free before you get your money.
Yeah.
So, and it's only going to get worse getting in bed with China and under a liberal majority government. So that's why I'm saying it's the plan is accelerating right here with Carney getting stealing this majority. Like it's an unelected majority. So that what is that? That's a definition of a dictatorship, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
And it's not what the people voted for. And so here we go. And like I said, I think that's when the olive branch. I think people will. I mean, there's already lots of people that would want a constitution and private property rights, in Canada that we don't get. So
Mm-hmm.
who knows? That's maybe my hopium, but whatever. I'll always be Canadian, but I would gladly take 51st state out any day of the week, just because of the benefits it would provide for my family and my kids and the future generations. And why not have a strong economy? Ours is weak as shit right now. So,
Right.
anyways,
That
yeah,
that
that's just my
is.
my little tangent, but
It's
I
sickening.
could see that being an avenue for, you know, when it comes time for Canada, to deal with it. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
That is sickening when you think of it. 60%. So you gotta work till what, September? You said, like,
Yeah, I'm here.
or
Yeah,
give or take. Yeah.
yeah.
That is
Depends how much.
crazy.
Depends on what tax bracket you're in. So that's why it's good to. I try to tell people about the TFSAs and ETFs and Bitcoin obviously, and I try to push that around a bit. But it's tough, man. People just struggle with Bitcoin. I think you're right. I think retail might be dead on Bitcoin now.
I
So
think it is.
yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah. Sad to say. At least for the Bitcoin movement and all that. Yeah. That's a whole nother episode. But
yeah.
we'll actually get to the Bitcoin for retail here in a little bit. But first, Adam, you want to hit on Dr. Gross from the Moonshots podcast?
Sure.
His
Do you have? Yeah. Do you have that video queued up?
yeah.
I think what he underlines is the importance of defensive co-scaling. So what's I think really important is that the defenders have proportionate capabilities to the attackers. And we don't want to find ourselves in a world where, say, a nation state potentially has, unless you like the nation state, has all the vulnerability discovery capabilities and is able to unearth every vulnerability everywhere with no defense. You don't want a 0 day against civilization, in other words. And I think the ultimate meta defense against a civilizational 0 day, which is what I think Sam is ultimately warning about, whether it's a cyber 0 day or a bio 0 day, is to make sure that those on the defense side also have comparable capabilities. And I think this is one of the wise elements of, in the earlier days of OpenAI as well, making sure that these new superintelligent capabilities were smoothed out and made broadly available. You don't just want attackers to have the capabilities, you want defenders to have the capabilities too. Going back to Project Glasswing with Anthropic, same idea. You want to make sure that all of these new superintelligent capabilities are evenly distributed. That's point one. Point two, I would note we sort of mysticize a little bit the essence of a cyber attack. That would be the ultimate cyber attack. It's not actually that complicated. And this isn't a recipe for avoidance of doubt of a cyber attack, but all it really takes is something as simple as, say, some new model discovers through a mathematical innovation a way to invert a popular cryptographically secure hash function. If through advanced, as I've discussed previously, the solving of math, if an advanced AI can solve math to enough of a degree that it's able to invert a popular hash function, that's a major problem for a variety of cryptographic systems. And that would be the basis, that's one possible basis for a broad civilizational cyber attack. It's also really easy to benchmark. There were rumors earlier in the earliest days of reasoning models, unconfirmed rumors, I should note, that OpenAI had been using the ability to invert certain hash functions that were popular and thought to be cryptographically secure or somewhat secure as a basis for benchmarking the development of their early reasoning models. So far from saying this is some sort of exotic possibility, I would say it's borderline guaranteed that there will be some sort of cyber attack attempt at a broad scale, if for no other reason than that the target of such a broad cyber attack is an incredibly tempting benchmark for benchmarking the improvement of reasoning capabilities.
That was, to give you context, they were talking about Anthropic's Mythos. So Scott Bessent, I think Jerome Powell were all pulled into a meeting because Mythos is able to find all these security vulnerabilities that have been sitting in systems for like 20 years, 17 years, and people, like just regular people, have not been able to find them. So what he's saying is there has to be almost a democratization of these tools so that not only attackers have the tools, but defenders also have the tools. And he was specifically speaking about hash, like solving mathematical problems at scale large enough to be able to stop AI from doing that to penetrate your system.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of read that as he's essentially greenlighting the need for a hash force, which Lowery always talks about, right? And
Yeah.
everyone just laughs at you for saying that Bitcoin's a weapon, but it 100% is a weapon system going up against AI.
Yeah, software, baby. That's
Yeah.
what is software at the end of the day. It seems like every day that goes by.
Right. So, and now we know that AI agents are going to be getting crypto wallets because they can't get bank accounts because they lack personhood.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know everything else is going tokenized. So, of course, all these agents are going to be out there spending, and they're going to be spending with crypto. So, I mean, it's what ultimately are you trying to defend against, right? The loss of personal property, the loss against which covers what property, money, all that kind of stuff, and then your
Yeah.
information, right? So that those are those are the major things that you could lose in cyberspace. And if now you have agents using crypto, it just seems
Specifically
like
Bitcoin, because they prefer.
specifically
Yeah,
Bitcoin,
they prefer Bitcoin anyway.
right? So you could just see where this is going. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
we can see it. A lot of others choose not to because they have this weird hatred of Bitcoin. I don't know what the foundations of that are, but it's interesting that this dude, and this dude's a goddamn genius, right? He's the resident genius on that show, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he's annoying as fuck, but he he's right a lot of the time, right? And he hates Bitcoin. I think you're the one who told me he hates Bitcoin.
Yeah, he's like the one out of all of them that just don't really care for, doesn't really think crypto's a thing or whatever, you know.
So that tells me one major thing is that they haven't done the work.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They haven't done the homework, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what was who's that new that Chinese professor Jing
Oh
Jiang or that fucking guy?
yeah, he just did a podcast or something, right?
Yeah,
Saying
saying
yeah.
like the Bitcoin CIA created its
Yeah.
essential database. He doesn't understand this shit at all. Like it's just crazy
Mm-hmm.
how far ahead we are just in understanding of how this thing works. And I still don't fully understand it, but I understand it enough to not make stupid fucking comments like that.
Yeah, that is. It's interesting because obviously that comes into what I first thought of when Dr. Gross was talking there was SHA-256, like that kind of shit. And then once,
Right.
if that does ever get broken, then it just doubles itself. You know, SHA-2 or SHA-5. What is it? 20?
512.
Yeah, 512. Yeah. So that in and of itself tells me back in 2007, 2008, Satoshi knew what was coming, you know, and what it was probably even made for at the end of the day. More than just money. I mean, obviously, we know it's more than just money. But at the end of the day, that your identity, your private, being able to be private, having something that's secured on the chain that's yours, at the end of the day, is valuable. You know, that what people would translate to money. So that's why the price is not necessarily a good. I agree, it's not a good benchmark. But it kind of, to me, it always says to me, yes, the price is going to go up forever because we always need these other things other than just the money aspect of it. You know, other than the monetary value and how good it is as a money. But there's way more things to Bitcoin that adds to its value. And I think in time, once we see this AI shit really start taking off, we're going to realize how valuable and how much we need that, you know, than just saying, oh, number goes up, you know, or a hedge against inflation. If you
Yeah,
will.
it's infrastructure. It's the infrastructure layer. It's the new railroad. It's a digital railroad. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why price predictions and Bitcoin is boring right now because, you know, it goes up and it went way back down and everybody just talking about what it sells for, you know. There's way more to it than that, and that's where I need to brush up and learn a lot more about, and that's why I'm here with you guys and learning this stuff too, because I am the resident retard with all that stuff for sure. So it's but I'm here to learn, and that's what. And every day you learn about Bitcoin, I think you're securing your future a little bit better. So I mean,
100%.
yeah. So
we're all retarded at the end of the day, Ryan.
absolutely, I love it. Yeah, favorite word.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I mean, yeah, like you said, Adam, the Dr. Gross was pretty much saying Bitcoin without saying Bitcoin.
100%. Yeah.
Good stuff.
And maybe he'll get it, and maybe he won't, just because he seems like the type.
He knows everything.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh God, that's good video. That's a good short. Yeah, I remember them talking about that. To your point, like 2 episodes ago, I guess now it was. Since whenever they came back from their they had like some kind of convention or speaking event or whatever. So yeah, check that podcast out. Really good stuff though, nonetheless. From Moonshots, one of my favorite on the AI side of things. So now, you guys brought up Stretch a little bit ago. Do we want to talk a little MicroStrategy here? Does that sound like fun? How much fun do you want to have? Do you want to have 1 billion worth of buying Bitcoin the last week? Kind of fun. Just based on Stretch, on the influence of Stretch. No dilution, no ATM in the common stock. Just 1 billion cash, baby. Or credit.
Well, let's hope he just keeps doing no more dilution of the common, because I think that's where he'll get his attackers to come back.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks
or if he stops the dilution, it will end those attacks too, because they're still attacking him over that shit. Like, yeah, for real. If he just starts just continuing to pay for Bitcoin with Stretch, holy shit,
dude!
There's nothing else. There's nothing else. You got Quantum FUD.
I think that is going to be the case for this upcoming week again here, because obviously now, since the dividend got paid 2 days ago or whatever, the divvy dip came in, and now we're sitting at like 99, 30, 40, 50.
Dude,
cents.
that divvy dip was nothing.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
It was nothing.
Exactly.
I thought there was going to be a buy opportunity. It really wasn't.
I am telling you guys, we are not going to see like 96, 97 anymore. Now, SATA is a little bit of a different story. We might see that 1 or 2 more times where it goes down the 97 or 96 where it got just recently before the rotation of the ex-dividend date for Stretch. And then all that, once the ex-dividend date, you had those shares, people sold off some Stretch and rotated into SATA and played that arbitrage game there. So that's where that big SATA jump came from. What was that, Wednesday or Thursday? Or today's Thursday. So Wednesday, I guess, yesterday. Fucking crazy. And a good point that was brought up in the financial ammo chat, or Misty chat and BBS and stuff like that, is that Stretch is eating the bear market in real time. And every day that goes by, we keep seeing 1 billion being bought every week
per day. I thought it was fucking Monday. It was like $1 billion, wasn't it?
I think it was for the previous week, because that's when they buy.
So was that the total?
Yes, okay. Yeah. But so either way, they're still buying hundreds a day, though. It's still crazy. But they just make their purchases at the end of the week. I don't know. And then SATA now, like I said, they're probably 1 or 2 more away from being pretty strict on the price as far as kind of where Stretch is now, where you are not going to get much of a buying opportunity or arbitrage in it, if you will, to make a capital gain. But my God, this is going super fast. But then again, that puts us right into that sweet spot time. A lot of people are predicting September is going to be a big month for Bitcoin, as far as maybe the bull run might start, and I hear different things like that. So September just seems to be very interesting in all kinds of different sectors here this upcoming year. But a lot of people, Adam, you're looking towards July 4th as a interesting day for Bitcoin and other things as well, which I can get on board with that. But yeah, it's just anything on the stretch and SATA side. You guys want to touch it? Like, is this
Well,
we've seen this since its birth, which is amazing. Like, we were
Yeah.
here before this Genesis, and crazy shit.
Well, so Ryan was pointing out like maybe retail is dead. Well, maybe retail isn't dead. Retail just shifted. Like
Right.
they can't take on the responsibility of Bitcoin because they just don't understand it, right?
And just
So
can't
now they
afford it
buy
anymore in
Right.
scale, you know.
Yeah.
So they buy SGRC.
Well,
Your
let's be
retail Bitcoin.
realistic. Bitcoin's a savings account for most people, right? You buy it and hold it.
Right.
And, so in today's day and age, a lot of people just can't afford any extra, right? So I mean, they should be figuring out how to afford it. You know what I mean? But it's it's tough. I mean, I wish I had more dry powder every day too. You know what I mean? So I'm just feel grateful I do have some dry powder every other day. I come up with a little bit, right? So, but yeah, no, it's a savings account for people, and if people can't afford to save, they're not going to buy it, but they will invest in, if they got investments that you can roll into to stretch, and I mean, why wouldn't you? Jeez,
And that goes to the point of you saying like Bitcoin is the savings technology. But at the end of the day, you are still going to have to sell some of that savings. Stretch is a little different. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you probably don't want to hold stretch for like more than 2 years. Like, as far as like a savings, like as a long hold. Not saying that it's going to go down or anything. You're going to do quite well, but in comparison to Bitcoin, those type of gains. But man, yeah, like it's like it just makes sense for the normie to have stretch like that. That is, we say it every week. I feel like stretch is more than an iPhone moment. It is. I don't even know what kind of term we want to even put on it. It's amazing.
It's definitely a product for those boomers you're talking about, because they don't want to
100%.
get into Bitcoin, and they want to get into making money like they're used to making money in their whole life. And I mean, 11.5% or whatever it is.
Yeah,
now,
it makes their life easy.
Like, why wouldn't you? So
yeah.
Well, so like this makes me think about the Mark Moss videos. You know how he I can't remember which video it was, but it was basically like you buy Bitcoin here, right? And then you borrow $100,000 against your Bitcoin. And then by the time you have to pay it back, it's already got a 30% CAGR. So you're only paying back so much, right?
Yes. Yep.
Stretch is 1,000 times better than that, because it's straight up. Sailor's got to deal with that shit. Like, it's way too confusing for most people, right? And I got my mom thinking about that kind of stuff. She's just like, it's just so confusing, and it's so easy to just say, just buy Stretch. It pays 11.5%, and then or SATA 13% now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like it's dumbed down so much, and I think that's always been Bitcoin's problem, is it's so fucking heady to wrap your head around. But once you get it, it's super fucking simple once you get it.
I was so late to the game, I'll tell you, man. I was just like, I don't understand this shit. I'm
No,
retarded. So,
it took me a long time to understand it. Fucking hours. I mean, like, hundreds, probably 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
But then once you get it, you're just like, wow, I'm so fucking stupid. How come I didn't get this originally? Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. You have to understand the money part of it, like the fiat side of it. For me, like I knew, like I said, when I was a teenager, I knew all about Federal Reserve, how much assholes they are and shit, like how fake it is and shit like that. But when I first seen Bitcoin, I'm like, okay, this seems like another kind of scam type deal. You know what I mean? Like a shit coin. And like, I just didn't put in the work in the Bitcoin. Like, I knew what the problem was. I knew if someone like or anyone, any Bitcoiner would have said, hey, no, this is actually like real money, like, and explain to me the anti version of the Federal Reserve, I'd be all for it. Like, it would have clicked like that. But no one was around in 2018 ish, or earlier, to explain that to me on that side. I was like, oh, everyone always looks at the gold and silver and stuff like that, and which makes sense and shit. Which is, I guess, technically better than fiat, but when you compare it to Bitcoin, it's not. So yeah, it's just it's amazing. You can't explain it to people. They have to do some kind of work at the end of the day. to get
No, and
Bitcoin.
they're walking into an absolute mob of people that fucking hate Bitcoin too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like you've got all the fear side just like banging down everybody before they can even get to, oh yeah, this is interesting. Maybe I should look into it. They've already just brushed it off, like, oh yeah, it's a scam, or it's dangerous, or I could lose my. What if I lose my keys, or whatever? The fear. It's really hard, right? You got to walk through fire to understand Bitcoin. You can't just walk in like STRC and say, "Oh, what's the ticker symbol? Oh, okay, $1 million on STRC. Cool. I get $10,000 a month. Awesome." Like, so that's why I think this is the iPhone moment, because it's super simplified a very complicated thing.
Yeah. Even I'm trying to even think of like a comparison. Like, would you say like a home computer to an iPhone? Like, what would you have considered an iPhone a little bit easier to work for someone for the first time, an iPhone
100%.
compared to someone for the first time trying to learn a computer?
Yes.
Okay,
Easily.
all right.
Easily.
That's cool. Because I'm a little younger, so I kind of remember both roughly around the same time. Obviously, in the late '90s, I remember a desktop computer, but like phones shortly came out after that, handhelds and shit like text and all that shit. So like that's a good. All right, I'm glad you kind of verified that then for me, like because you kind of saw both.
Well, you got rid of two tools too, right? A keyboard and a mouse.
Yeah, and people cannot work a mouse.
No, right? And
They still
so
can't.
then you introduced a touchscreen with a scroll.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's mostly what people do is scroll, right? So like, it's probably like from the adoption standpoint of like switching from keyboard to mouse to this is, yeah, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but it drastically simplified computing, though. That's for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just think about what the innovation from iPhone is to whatever's next. I can't even imagine. Neuralink? Oh man.
If you ask if you ask Elon, he would say yes.
Yeah, that's all right.
So yeah, like you mentioned earlier, SATA did just move to 13% for this upcoming month, which is crazy. Which I wanted to bring that up on the last episode is, do you find it to a point during a bull market or Bitcoin bull market, like to where these products, these preferreds, Stretch and SATA, so people want them so much they cannot ATM it fast enough, so they're just gonna have to lower the dividend a little bit to kind of not entice someone to just keep buying the shit out of it. Do you see that? Do you see that? I can see both angles to this.
I think there's going to be more treasury companies adopting the same model, right?
But can they though? That's the problem. They don't have the scale. Like even Strive has what 13,000 Bitcoin.
No scale compared to.
Oh yeah, no. But when you compare Strive to other Bitcoin treasuries or people that are even trying to start this, they're not even gonna come close to them probably either. Other than Metaplan, I think they might have more Bitcoin. But obviously that's a whole different jurisdiction and part of the world. But yeah, to your point, we're not going to see too many other Bitcoin companies, I think, that can use a full scale of like a lot of Bitcoin as collateral.
Man, you just touched a huge point. That's a different market, Metaplanet. Like, just think about that. So now you got countries competing with, let's say there's one company in each country that adopts Saylor's model. Fuck. Yeah. That's a lot of competition.
Well, and then to that point, then if you take it to that extent, you wouldn't need as much Bitcoin because obviously anyone can really buy Stretch. So like Saylor does kind of need like a lot of the Bitcoin as collateral to be able to push out that much for this much demand of Stretch. So like if you got a small country like Italy or something, you only need like so much Bitcoin that your citizens, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, that kind of plays, but that goes to scale though too. Yeah, that's actually really interesting. I never really thought about that. But God, this is crazy.
Yeah,
like
we're just
every
talking
time I
about,
talk
like,
about Stretch, like I think of something new. It's just absolutely amazing.
it really is hard to fathom how big that could get. But I still maintain that treasury companies are going to be paying 20%.
You think even during bull markets?
I think eventually we're going to go into a perma bull, and they're going to fight each other at 20%.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, and everybody does win in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that. I can also see, but then, yeah, because when you talk about Sailor, nothing's off the table to buy Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like he'll do anything that's possible to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, fuck, dude, he's proven that. That's for sure. And all of all of us shareholders have definitely felt the pain of that.
Yes.
But if you can weather that storm, whew, yeah, we're gonna be looking good.
Yeah.
It's
Actually,
just weather it.
Sailor just put up today that they just added Bitcoin per share to their website. Like for
Yeah, that's cool.
let me see if it's up here. Bit,
Is Assist doing that too?
I think they.
I know who started that. Wasn't it ABC Mining, Eric Trump's company? Didn't he?
Oh, was
Isn't
it
he the
him?
one who's?
Was
I
it
think
them?
he's the
Okay.
one who started it because they were doing the cost for mining,
Yeah, here we go.
and then they keep all the Bitcoin.
For Strive, its Sats per diluted share is 19,400 and change, and then Sats per basic share is 19,700 and change. So interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a whole other thing we could talk on because I know in our Misty chat we love to talk about Strive, and a lot of us do own Strive now, and I think it's just a mini fucking strategy from 4 years ago.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
Yeah,
with
I
even
bought
less
I
debt.
even bought more shares today at 13 and change. For
Did you?
Out of the hell that, yeah.
I mean, that's I you don't ever want to buy up, but when just like the base value of it's like $20, you're like, what the like? Who cares about this little bit of a difference? You know, when it's going up another whatever, and that's even the worst case scenario, just being base of $20. Like we see it going up to way more than that, 5 times, and on just even Bitcoin going back to all-time highs, not even in a full bull run, or falling even the power level and such. So
It's still on sale. Yeah.
yes, 100%.
Considerably. Yeah.
Man,
Mhm.
yeah, it's absolutely crazy, like what we're seeing here, and this is getting fun. Obviously we went through a lot of pain. We sure did. But yeah, it's. I think we might be seeing the end of time. Even like the True North boys, like Jeff with Strive and stuff, they're even starting to call out like this is probably the bottom. Like there's no way that we could even go down to 45 or 55 or whatever. Like Stretch
What did we go down
and
to,
SATA
60?
breaks all your models, guys. Like,
Yeah. What was the lowest? Was it 60?
it was 60 and change. Yeah.
50, yeah.
Just above 60, right? Like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if we even get, I don't understand these like, I understand the channels and the volume because the volume is shit. There's no fucking volume, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I've never seen it like this before. It's like everyone's scared of it. Like, don't touch it. And I just don't see like. I mean, you would have to have a pretty decent sell on an exchange to drop it to 50.
Mm-hmm.
But do I think the buy pressure's there to pick it up? I don't know. I guess it just depends on the volume. I guess maybe that's what people are scared is because the volume is so low that any kind of mid-size move could shake the market kind of heavy. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe that's the reasoning. But I just like if it's gonna happen, let's get it over with because I don't see it lasting much longer.
I know that's the thing. Like, yeah, there will be buyers called SATA and Stretch, no matter what. Like, so, like,
Yeah, you
there
got
are always going to be
perma
buyers now.
Perma buyers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Fuck. Yeah. When you think of that, yeah, it might not be as much as people are selling or whales are selling or whatever, but like that's something we never seen before. Like every other cycle, we never seen anything like this. Even the institutional buying, like sure, we never really seen that either. But I think SATA and Stretch play a bigger, just as big of a role, if not bigger, than that, than like the Black Rocks. Even though the Black Rocks, that was a big deal. That was a big deal, and still is. But man, it's just.
Oh, then you got Morgan Stanley.
Yeah.
And then you've got they're already spinning up their ETFs, and then they're doing their income products off of them on top of that. So they have an incentive to keep buying.
More liquidity coming in. You know.
So like, I think it's like what we talked about last show. Like I think we're going to have more institutional buyers coming online every other week, every month. Like I think we're going to start seeing a larger amount of or a larger volume of them coming on.
Mm-hmm.
To where 100% like that you have perma buyers that aren't going to quit. Like I don't care, sell your shit, we want it.
Yeah.
And then people are going to be like, well, why do they keep buying it? It's like keeps going down.
And
like, maybe there's something to it.
And if they don't, like the institutionals, they're the ones that are going to be buying the preferreds then. So that just goes right back in the that just goes right back into strategy then. So like there's going to be ultimate buying at the end of the day. So there is going to be buying orders. You know, whether that's going to be Stretch, whether it's going to be Stride, whether it's going to be SATA, whether it's going to be just a big whale and BlackRock, whatever. You know, there's going to be buying.
But Krash, to your point, this has never happened before, right? Like, like this type of perma buy has never happened before, right? So chart fagging right now, I just can't. I just really just don't listen to it because it just seems pointless. Like you're trying to go
missing information,
historical shit with shit that didn't exist back then. So
I'm with you. If anything, sure, people say we're 6 months into the bear market, and we normally see 12 months. If we want to meet halfway, let's just say the bear market is going to be cut short. It has to. You would have to think it has to be at least be cut short. You know, I don't, especially with all this buying.
This kicked off? What do you think this kicked off? Like August last year?
Some people point it towards the October crash as the actual like.
Okay, it's the 10-10 crash.
Yeah. Some people like to compare it with the gold to Bitcoin ratio to dollar ratio, which is even longer than a year now. In those terms, but I don't know. I'm all right with the 10-10 crash. I'm all right with doing it by then because that was really the biggest fear of what like that did change everything that day.
It really did scare the shit.
Yeah, that was
out of
no
everybody.
October, that's for sure.
Yeah, exact opposite.
But you know what? I'm so used to this pain now. I like bring it on for like
100%,
I like that we've gone
man.
up a little bit, but bring it on for a little while because you know what, guys like us, being seasoned with this pain and the beatings on it, we just keep stacking harder. So let's just keep doing. I'm all
just
for
keep
it, you know what I
finding
mean?
shit on
we know
sale.
where it's gonna go. Eventually, it's gonna go. My patience is fucking battle hardened now, so it's just like,
yeah, dude.
You know what? Like I don't want it to fucking green candle out of into. You know what I mean? Like I want it to just keep doing what it's doing right now for a little bit. It's going up a little bit, you know, and we're getting a little bit more back with the, you know, hopefully get some more back. Like I just want to see Sailor stop diluting his comments so we can actually get some Misty returns back, and then we can really reinvest. You know what I mean? Fuck, half my shit's in Misty, and I gotta get, you know.
And that's a good
point.
point.
Sell it, you just lose your shirt, so you might as well get some money out of it. You know what I mean?
That's a good point because, like, as of now, I always say in the chat, like, shit's on sale. Like, get whatever you can get right now. And once we hit that bull run, I'm going to tell you guys, the only thing we're going to be able to buy, we're only going to be able to buy SATA and Stretch, basically. Like, it's going to be boring as far as the buying goes. Because you're, like, as we learned, we kind of don't want to buy at the tops anymore. Like
Yeah.
that kind of deal.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Been there, done that, fellas.
painful fucking lesson.
yeah, but it's an important
Watching-
lesson nonetheless.
Watching your Misty portfolio go down 75% is a real ass kicking. Yeah, you bet.
I
can
wouldn't
laugh
have it
about
any
I don't
other
give
way.
a shit, but it's just the way it is. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's I can stack a little longer. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
because we know where it's going to go. Eventually, it will go up. It can only go up, and all the markers are telling us that. And especially with like you said, the models are going to be wrecked here, and it's just I don't think people the models have figured that out yet, but they are fucking wrecked, and it's going to go. And you know what? If it holds out for a little while longer and it's suppressed, however way it's suppressed, like I don't care. Just don't do. Just stop fucking ATM in the common there, Sailor. That's all I got to say.
Yes,
to you.
please.
Yeah, you got your flywheel going now to get your Bitcoin in massive quantities. Just go that way. Yeah.
Hey.
Did he say he surpassed?
Please go that way.
I was wondering if maybe he was trying to like surpass BlackRock, and I think he finally has surpassed them, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's
Or
pretty
it's
close.
just
It's
under.
damn close if he didn't pass him already.
Does
His next
BlackRock
buy.
actually own the Bitcoin though, or is it just paper Bitcoin? What is it?
Well,
Supposedly they own it.
They
And
own
then
coins.
selling
They
shares
actually
of
own.
it.
Okay, they have a wallet, just like Sailor does. Then
Coinbase, right? Isn't Coinbase
yes, I think it
their
is.
custodian?
Yeah, I think it is Coinbase because there's another one out there that's not Coinbase. It was I forget who it was, but that's the point of with like iBit, like they are buying it for their custodians. They aren't necessarily buying it, and some people like I've seen posts and stuff like kind of get that confused. Like it's the custodians of BlackRock that are buying it.
okay.
It's not like BlackRock CEO is buying it or anything.
No, that makes sense, right?
So-
So the ETF is funding it. It's pegged to the price of Bitcoin, right? And then the custodians are buying it on behalf of the ETF.
Correct.
I got a question for you
okay.
guys.
All right.
We all seem to be into TSII and Tesla and stuff. Where do you guys? What do you think is going on with Tesla? I mean, you had Kathy Wood just buy all those shares, and then you had Elon Musk coming out saying the next 3 months are going to be the biggest in Tesla's history. Like, what do you guys think is going on here?
You want to talk to that, Adam?
Sure. I mean, you've got Robotaxi, I think, is number one.
So is that like Waymo?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
But okay, let me speak to what that is. So, like, I own a Tesla, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when that actually goes active, I could put my car in a fleet while I'm at work, and it will go make money for me and come back and charge.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
How
anybody's
does it plug
comprehending
itself
this
in?
shit.
How does it plug itself in? Okay,
well,
here's the question.
I'll have somebody fucking plug it in.
Okay.
But I know that they are working on wireless chargers, right? So
Why aren't the roofs solar panels yet?
right. Well, it's not enough energy, not enough surface area.
Well, you're sitting out in a parking lot all day, corporate America or something, and Arizona sun. It might help, wouldn't it? I don't know. Probably not. He knows better than I do.
Probably
Yeah.
maybe get like 10 miles on it, maybe.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
But so it's already a life hack. So number one, you're going to be able to drive yourself. You don't have to drive yourself. Number one. Number two, your car now becomes a appreciating asset because it can go make money for you when you're not using it. And number three, it becomes an appreciating asset itself. The car now becomes more valuable, which has never happened in the history of cars other than like 1950s Studebaker redone or that kind of stuff. But now your car is actually valuable. So that's one thing that's coming real soon.
So your car, without all those sensors on it like a Waymo has, will be able to do all this.
Yes.
Oh, crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's Tesla. Anybody who owns a Tesla.
That's unreal. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's absolutely huge.
Yeah, it is huge.
Then Optimus is also massive. I mean, I don't think that's coming this year. I don't know if it's coming this year. But that's going to change everything because I don't know if you guys have ever seen the website. It's Rent a Human. Have you seen that website?
I don't think I have. No.
Well, so this all came out when everyone was getting into OpenClaw. So like they had all these agents doing like just a ton of different administrative stuff for them, but when the agents would get to the point where they physically had to do something, they could not solve it. So they solved it by renting a human, and then they would pay them per task.
Okay.
And this is a lot of these sites already have or already exist, like TaskRabbit, um, all the gig working sites. Like you can just go get one-off contract jobs. Well, this is very similar to that, except you're working for an agent. You don't even work for a human. It's like go do this, and then they get confirmation it's done, and then they pay you. So Optimus solves that last piece, which
Okay.
is massive. Like
Mhm.
I don't think anybody understands how big Optimus is going to be, because basically it's taking AI and putting it in physical form.
Yeah.
So those are
Interesting.
the two huge things coming from Tesla. And then they also have the Roadster, which I don't know if you saw Elon on Joe Rogan where he teased that the Roadster is likely a flying car. So I did, there's so much there. Um,
And if it's
I
self-driving, you won't even need a pilot's license, I'm sure. So there you go.
Yeah, so well, think about this. If Optimus, because it's all trained off of the car data,
Hmm.
so it learned how to drive a car first, and
Mhm.
everything else is secondary. So like any other task, like in your house washing dishes or whatever, all that stuff is secondary. It learned how to drive a car first, right? So now you could have Optimuses driving analog cars or ICE cars for people in Uber while you're doing something else. Like
Okay.
you could use your robot as a surrogate to be doing all sorts of other tasks and other things for other people for extra money.
Hmm.
So I think the possibilities are absolutely endless with what they're doing there. So just those two things alone, I don't know how they factor into the next 3 months. I think Robotaxi is the one that does. Optimus is probably next year.
Wasn't he putting like SpaceX or something all into one umbrella or something with it though,
Well,
or is
well,
that?
so SpaceX has merged with XAI, and that's IPOing on its own.
Oh, okay, that's
But
yeah.
there's a lot
Right,
of
I did
speculation
read that.
that they're going to merge the two.
Okay.
And if they do merge the two, I've seen I've seen pros and cons. So the cons were that, oh well, SpaceX operating expenses are going to be written off to Tesla, which will drop their stock. So in other words, the revenues that they're making with Tesla, the profits they're making with Tesla, they're just going to put into SpaceX, and then that's going to chew it until it becomes profitable. But I don't think so, because SpaceX is already profitable because of Starlink.
Hmm.
Right.
And then you put XAI into that mix, and XAI is already integrated into your cars. It's integrated into X itself.
Hmm.
To me, it makes sense to merge all of it into one big umbrella. But um, yeah, I just think that company is an absolute behemoth. So the one risk I hear a lot of people talk about, like, is would Tesla, would SpaceX, or any of these companies exist without Elon? Like as they exist now, would they be as valuable if Elon wasn't on the planet? It's a good question. Like who knows what the succession plan is for each of these companies? I don't know.
Hmm.
But while that
Interesting.
motherfucker's alive, yeah, I wouldn't bet against the dude.
Yeah.
And he'll
Yeah.
probably somehow figure out a way to put his consciousness into a freaking Optimus or something anyway. So
Be the
Oh,
first
dude,
one.
you know what? That's
he
a
could
great
get
point.
he could live
That's
on
a great
forever. That
point.
guy, who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it's already happened.
Or he can make an AI version of himself that lives on. It'll just think like he does. Who knows?
Great
Yeah.
point.
So I
Who
guess.
knows, man? It's the
So
world is like so crazy. Like it's like unreal. Yeah, to fathom.
it
Yeah.
is so much shit to learn, like, and invest
Yeah.
in. But that's what my issue comes down to is back to your original question of like why TS2, or TSII. And
Mhm.
now that for anyone that's not aware, that's the income fund, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, I don't because I feel like I am on the strategy, strive, Bitcoin side, and like that's where I put all my like focus on and investments on. So it's like,
Yeah.
and you don't want to spread yourself thin. Not saying that having two investments or whatever is too thin, but like at the same time, it's like I know what this is. I know what this looks like. You know, and where the like value is here or there. And then moving on to Tesla, which I do like Tesla, and like Adam just told me more shit about Tesla than I learned like the last 3 months. So like,
that's amazing.
yeah, and it's like I like it. I like the idea, but all my capital is in Bitcoin related stuff.
You know why I started doing it? Why? Well, there's number one, or the first thing is there's two things I believe in, right? It's Bitcoin and Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, and that's the only reason why I'm interested, right? And I really pay attention to both.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is when Misty started switching from 35% to 70% maintenance. I was like, fuck, okay, I have a balance problem.
Yes.
Well, I believe in Tesla, and that's the only other company that I feel like I could go all in on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only reason I pushed in that direction. And the reason I chose TSII is because I think there's 3 different income funds. There's YieldMax has a Tesla.
Yes. Yeah.
And then there's another one that really has massive NAV decline, but it has a high dividend payout.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tizzy, I chose Tizzy because it's leveraged upside as well. So
yeah,
like
what is it?
even when it goes
1.2%, like or 1.2 times?
I don't know what the percentage is, but it's considerable.
It's designed for growth and income. Yeah.
Yeah. What? That's right. Is that Round Hill TSII?
Yes.
No.
Wait, no, Granite
No,
shares.
it's Rex. It's Rex.
Oh, Rex, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
That's I actually put that in. I had Grok do all of those income funds, pros and cons, go through a Q&A, like what do I want it for? Because I want Tesla, like I want the growth potential of Tesla, but it's a $400 share.
Yeah.
You can't get a lot of exposure to that, right? So that's why I saw TSII as a huge exposure at a lower price to growth plus dividends.
Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly why I did it. It was one of the 3 or 4 income ETFs out there that tends to not have the NAV decline, which I had enough of that nut kicking with Misty, right? So so I was like, I got to do something different. I want to keep buying stuff, but I don't want to, I don't want something that keeps reverse splitting or anything like that. So it's but so that's TSI has been like one of my secondary favorites. I got a few other ones I play around with too, but it's more just the my belief factor again, as well as in Tesla and whatever Elon Musk is doing, because he's a game changer for sure. So
no doubt. Yeah. I'm with
right
it.
on.
All right,
And
guys.
then,
I think that's
okay.
Yeah. You got something to finish on there, Adam?
No, let's just head there. That's good.
All right, guys. This has been great. Another fun-filled week of news, of action. People say nothing's going on, so but slight to the contrary there. But Adam, Ryan, this has been great. Thanks for coming on for another great chat this week. And guys, until next time, stay out of that collateral damage. And if you guys enjoyed this week's episode, go check out last week's episode right up at the top.